Calorie deficit and patience until you get there. Thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. MyAdapt.com for the smartest coach in your pocket. DRPAK.com for coaching by me. Thank you. Have a good day. Peace. Joking aside, the whole 10% body fat thing is cringe. For some reason, men around the world are obsessed with this arbitrary body fat percentage. As a reality check, we can't actually measure body fat percent accurately. Even DEXA, the gold standard, can have high error rates. We don't actually know what a specific body fat percentage looks like on people. All the charts you see online are random pictures of people's upper bodies in different lighting, different genetics, etc. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't matter the number. All you care about is what you're seeing in the mirror. But I digress. And I know it's winter, we're bulking. Okay, sheep of the system. Some people aren't bulking. If you want to bulk, go check out my comprehensive video on bulking and stop complaining. With that out the way though, let's talk about the simplest way to get lean, visible abs, lean, and all that good stuff. Get close to 10% where you have a pretty defined six-pack. Obviously, a calorie deficit is necessary, that goes without saying, but that's not where people fail. People fail at sticking to the deficit for a while. So here's a few tips on how to actually go and cross the finish line. After all, if Dr. Pak did it, so can you. This is the ultimate motivation, people. If the loser, the fat, bald, ginger, Greek/British citizen loser did it, if you can't do it, then who can? You, I guess. I don't know, I fucked it there with the motivation speech, but hey, editors, keep that in so the viewers see our weak side as well. But in all seriousness, you can do it. So, tip number one, your metabolism is not slow, nor will it slow down massively. Unless you're crash dieting, eating 500 calories a day and doing hours and hours of intense exercise daily, remove the fear that you will magically hit a plateau and get stuck. I see this all the time. The scale gets stuck for a couple of weeks, people get disappointed, create the narrative that they weren't losing fat anymore, eat more for a few days, get on a slight deficit for another few days, see their weight not progress really, and then give up. When we look at the science, even in the case of people losing a shit ton of weight super fast, metabolic adaptation causes them to regain weight more easily after they're done, but they still lose the weight. So, if you are truly eating in a deficit, you will lose fat. Make sure that you aren't underestimating the food that you're eating, stay the course, and the scale will respond. Keep in mind, we care about fat loss, not pure weight loss. I can't stress this enough. If you're resistance training, have a life, have stress, etc., all those things will lead to the scale not moving here and there. Instead of only focusing on the scale, measure your waist circumference at the same day and time every week, see how that responds, assess your physique visually, and only if you're truly stuck, then reduce calories by 200 or 300, which brings me to my next point. And boy, oh boy, is this frustrating. Weigh yourself every day and look at the average change. I know many of you are rolling your eyes now and thinking, come on, bro, really? Is that your tip? We know. No, you don't. Okay, maybe some of you do, but the amount of times I've had clients assume that they aren't losing weight because they're not seeing a massive change on the overall daily number that the scale shows is astonishing. Then they notice that, oh, I've dropped half a pound on average, which is still progress. Tip numero tres, as we say in Greek, with tips cuatro and cinco, that's 4 and 5 for my non-French speakers, being a bit more important, so stick around. If you have plenty of fat to lose or aren't particularly trained, and by that I mean at least 5 years of consistent hard training under your belt, the first few pounds, even up to 10 to 15 pounds, may not result in an insane visual difference in your physique. This can be extremely disheartening, especially since those few pounds will be hard work, plus the scale will start to play up here and there. Accept it and stay the course. It's totally normal. Even for myself, when I did the cut at the beginning, after even the first like maybe 10 kilos or so, 20 pounds, sure, I could see that I was getting leaner, but visually wasn't like, whoa, complete transformation. It takes some time. Stick the course, trust the process. Once you get leaner, there will come a point where you will literally go from, okay, I am looking a bit thinner, but I'm not there yet, to seeing big differences in your physique on a weekly basis. Next tip, and I think this is quite important, aim for a slightly more aggressive calorie deficit than 500. Sure, 500 seems to be a safe bet for preventing muscle loss, but one, realistically speaking, if you're lifting weights and eating a decent amount of protein, like somewhere around 2 grams per kilo of body weight, you won't be losing much, if any, muscle. The research we currently have on the impact of a calorie deficit and lean mass losses is based mostly on DEXA, which will most definitely show some lean mass losses if you lose weight regardless of how you do it. And two, and more importantly, unless you're measuring everything to an absolute T and never eat out, etc., aiming for a slightly more aggressive deficit around 700 calories or so will give you the peace of mind that even on days where your guesstimation may be a bit off, you're still in a calorie deficit. This is particularly important, in my opinion, as it will help you push through the infamous plateau days. Instead of triple guessing whether you're actually in a deficit, whether your metabolism slowed down, you can be relatively confident that you are indeed in a deficit. Worst case scenario, you're closer to 500 rather than 700 calories. No big deal. Tip number 5, and this can be a game changer for many of you. Roughly calculate how much weight you think you need to lose to look lean, add a few more pounds, divide that by your expected weekly weight loss rate based on your calorie goal, and then add 4 more weeks to that. Tell yourself that you will commit to the deficit that whole time and assess at the end, no matter what. This is again pretty important, as on your flat and fat days, which are unfortunately part of the game, the hunger and frustration will make it very tempting to call it there. Because what's the point? Having that slightly bigger deficit will be a good way for you to remind yourself that you're definitely doing your due diligence and that you just have to trust the process. Put it on your calendar, have a paper on your wall with all the months that you need to tick off in order to get there, and just commit to it, no matter what. At the end of the day, once you reach that time point, you will be leaner. Maybe you're not as lean as you want, but you can then just keep going with a cut. It doesn't change anything. However, if you have this arbitrary timeline in your head, you may end up giving up before you even reach halfway there. And that is it. I wish I had some magical hack, exercise, or food, but it all comes down to you sticking the course. Of course, things like food choices, etc. matter a lot, but I'll leave that for another video. Always remember, if you're lifting, even minimum effective dose style, so a few sets per week, and needing protein, you're solid. Stop overthinking it and you'll make it. MyAdapt.com if you want the smarter coach in your pocket to guide all your training and completely outsource it to that. DRPAK.com if you want to work with me on both diet and training coaching. And I will see you guys next time.